On the field. Off the field. Sports talk. Entertainment and more. This is Sauce on the Side.
Well, hello there, Dippers, and welcome back to episode 80 on the dot of the Sauce on the Side podcast. As always, Dippers, I'm your host, Drake, joined by the man, the producer, Mr. Leighton Pip Shaventone.
Brandon, you haven't been on the show in a few weeks, so I don't know if you heard this crazy stat yet, but Derek Jeter, for 20 seasons, did not take a single rep at a position other than shortstop. He DH'd 78 times, pinch ran once, and pinch hit 8 times. That's a ridiculous stat.
That now marks number 45 that I've heard that.
Yeah, and I've actually heard it now several times.
Okay,
so you texted to me as soon as you found this out. Yes, it is a very crazy stat. The fact that he never played another defensive position, very crazy.
Do you know how mad Leighton's going to be whenever he's a unanimous Hall of Fame selection?
He shouldn't be so overrated. So overrated.
And guys, you've heard him already. It is Mr. Brandon, the hot take detective, B. Riker.
So I was just running through some of the headlines that I've heard from the Warriors lately. The first one: are we sure that DeMarcus Cousins won't ruin the Warriors? What's wrong with Golden State? Draymond Durant fight could be the end of the Warriors. And what I heard this week really killed me. Could the Golden State Warriors beat the Eastern All-Stars? How did we get here?
I love it.
Well, Brandon,
I absolutely love it.
If you think about it, the Warriors have 5 All-Star starters, so I guess in a game of 5-on-5 they have a chance. But once you get past the 6th guy, you might have a little problem with the Eastern Conference team.
Yeah, don't worry about the Klay Thompson shooting probably like an all-time low with three-pointer, and Draymond Green has been below all-star level for now 2 years. But don't worry about all that.
Yeah, completely forget that, Brandon. Hey, but I do have a take on that. You know, you see how NBA players, like, they play together every day and they get better?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if the Eastern Conference All-Stars just tried to walk out there and beat a team, though, I think they would struggle. I think they would be like a middle-of-the-road actual team without any practices. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they probably still win every game, though. They still get them done.
Yeah, but the take was by a pure talent level, which is just ridiculous. We need
Hell
to
no.
stop this nonsense.
Who'd be the answer for Joel Embiid? I guess DeMarcus?
They did put DeMarcus on him. Hey, Joel can get his. The other 4 guys might not.
Yeah, you're right. Ben Simmons wouldn't give Steph Curry any problems with his size.
No.
Absolutely not. Interesting. Alright, so guys, be sure to download, subscribe, give us 5-star review. Be sure to check us out on thefsgn.com where you can find our podcasts and other podcasts as well. Follow on Twitter and Instagram at TheSaucyPod. Guys, we're going to talk about the NFL. The Super Bowl's coming up this weekend. We're going to talk a little bit about the MLB. We haven't talked about baseball in a really long time. Bryce Harper, Manny Machado still unsigned. Talk a little bit about NCAA hoops. We got some teams rising, some teams falling. And talk a little bit about the NBA All-Star Game. Brandon already talked a little bit about it as well. So guys, it was a really, really, really weird Sunday that I absolutely hated. But what did you guys do yesterday?
Well, yesterday was a really good day. There's no football on.
It was horrible.
Like, I'm not going to watch the Pro Bowl, so I didn't have an alarm every Sunday wake at 10 a.m. for it. I didn't turn it off because I didn't think about it. I woke up and then got to sleep. Well, I just started watching One Tree Hill last week. Very addicted to that show. Extremely into it. So I watched that from like 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Felt like a piece of shit from not moving at all. I went to the gym. I was there for like 2.5 hours strictly because most would do at home. So then I worked out for like 4 to 7, then watched the SAG Awards, went to bed. It was awful.
Let's not go ahead and just skim past the elephant in the room. You said that you watched One Tree Hill for 6 hours yesterday.
I love One Tree Hill. I am flying through this show.
Literally, Netflix makes new series every day, and you can't find a better series to watch. One Tree Hill. I mean,
you ever watched One Tree Hill?
You've watched it.
It is
Huh?
actually the first time I watched it.
This is your first time.
My first time watching One Tree Hill. Yeah.
You are obsessed with watching old shows for some reason.
But, well, I've always known that was good, and then somebody wanted me to watch it with them, so I watched like 2 episodes, and it was okay. But then I was just like, I'm gonna watch that show again. And then I watched like episode 4, 5, 6, and by 9 I was like, okay, I'm all in on this show now. So basically all weekend, all I did was watch One Tree Hill.
You may tell you about the first time I ever watched One Tree Hill?
Yes.
It would be the next time.
Okay,
well, I mean, let's get honest. It's not a bad show, but there's so many better shows.
He's a 25-year-old man, Brandon. He should not be watching One Tree Hill.
I like One Tree Hill. I'm sorry that I like One Tree Hill, Drake.
Brandon, when did you have your One Tree Hill phase?
It would have been early high school, because that's more or less when it was more popular.
That makes sense.
And my older sister watched it quite a lot. So yes, I did watch it, and I will give Layton some credit. It is very addicting to watch. Like, you could sit down and watch a whole bunch of episodes at one time.
It's so dramatic the whole freaking time.
Well,
everything's so extreme.
But Layton, there's so many better shows. Netflix literally makes better shows every single day.
Yes.
I'm not saying they don't, but right now I happen to be watching One Tree Hill.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Brandon, what did you do for your Sunday to fill the void of football?
So, first of all, there was flag football on. You guys are not talking about that. There was kids flag football.
Oh man, I
can't wait for the Pro Bowl.
Pop Warner, baby.
Pop Warner.
I missed that.
Yeah, you did miss some of that. So I did just start a part-time job. So it's at an IV bar. So I was sticking IVs in a bunch of hockey players this weekend. But so that did fill some of the void. But I actually. I don't know how I've never heard of this. Have you guys heard of this fire festival, that debacle that happened?
Yes.
That's actually the review for today, so.
Oh.
It's a little prelude for it.
All I'm going to say about it is, I don't know how I didn't hear about it, but my little brother came to town just for a weekend, just for a day, and told me about it. Nick did. And I don't know how I didn't hear about this. So ridiculous. So
you didn't hear about it after it happened?
Never did. I don't know how.
I never heard about it either.
I heard about it. I knew about it before it happened, and then I found out after that was bullshit.
I would have been duped had I had known about this thing. I would have been all in. I would have been there.
Oh, yes.
If you could afford it,
if you guys don't know Drake, but this is literally was just advertised towards him.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm glad you watched it too, though, so then we can have a three-way discussion during the review. That's a two-way.
Hey, which one did you watch, Netflix or Hulu?
I watched Netflix. I don't have a Hulu account.
Okay,
that boy.
I watched the Hulu one, so you guys can fill me on the differences, but it's probably all the same shit because it's the exact same thing.
Yeah, but another big prelude, the Netflix one doesn't have any spoken words from Billy, so that's the big difference between Hulu.
Hulu's does. Hulu's now far superior because he actually talks on it.
No. You guys did not have the ultimate quote that ends all quotes.
Okay. What's that? We'll find out.
Yes.
We'll find out in about an hour and a half.
Brandon, do you know which one I'm talking about?
I have no idea what quote you're talking about. There was a lot of one-liners in there.
The one that followed, I went home, brushed my teeth, got some mouthwash, headed up to customs, and...
All right, well, I guess we can find out the end of that quote here soon.
I think you should wait till the end there.
All right,
stay tuned.
All right, Dipper, stay tuned, because you will hear the quote I'm talking about, which was the best quote of any documentary of all time.
Jake wants to let me documentaries too, so he knows all the quotes.
Yes, I know all the good quotes. This is Sparta, and then this quote is right behind that. So it's the second greatest quote of all time. So, guys, it is here. The week we have all dreaded since the NFL kicked off on Hall of Fame weekend. The last weekend of NFL football. It is the Super Bowl. Bill and his Patriots versus McVay and his group of Jeff Fisher's Rams. Guys, we're going to start off first with a little bit of fun about the Super Bowl. What is your favorite prop bet that you will be taking this Super Bowl?
So, this line I bet last Monday, so the day prior to the game was determined. C.J. Anderson, rushing yards, 37.5.
You're kidding me.
Oh, wow.
No, I feel like Todd Gurley might be hurt, but even if he's hurt for this game, after what's happened the past 2 weeks, you have to imagine C.J. Anderson is going to get at least 37 rushing yards.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I put $20 on that last Monday. That's my favorite bet of the entire year. Well, you
half
guys
a carry for him, he could get that.
Yeah, well, you guys give your pull up the current line for his rushing yards, but I feel like that was like a no-brainer.
Oh, for sure. Well, for mine, I thought, what is the one thing that NFL broadcasters like to do when covering Tom Brady and the Patriots?
Say GOAT.
That, and bring out how fucking old they are. And this prop bet is negative 200 to bring up the age difference between Belichick and McVay at one time during the broadcast. There is no way
one time
that they're just one time. There's no way they're going to go a whole game without mentioning that Bill Belichick is 33 years McVay's elder. I mean, it's just going to be mind-blowing. I already know what it's going to be. It's going to show Bill Belichick coaching the who was he with then?
The Giants.
The Giants, yes, he was a defensive coordinator to the Giants when McVay was just being born. They're going to show little graphics of baby McVay, and Bill Belichick is an old man already.
McVay was my favorite.
I mean, this is like a no-brainer to me. This is exactly it. Just I don't even know how this is a bet. Like it should be like negative 600.
Do you want to hear the best odds on the automatic yes bet of all time?
What's that?
And this is actually on Bovada. Billy McFarland gets caught selling Super Bowl counterfeit tickets.
That's awesome.
Plus 2,500 yes, minus 10,000 no. Tell me that Billy McFarland's not going to go out and lay the hammer on the yes and then purposely get caught selling Super Bowl tickets. That would be the most Billy McFarland move of all time.
That would be.
After watching that documentary, that was pretty much all of Billy's businesses. Not one business was legitimate.
I liked
this
all
would
of his
actually
businesses.
be a new business where he just bets on himself, prop bets.
Oh, I love that. Don't let him get wind of that because he'll get another 6 years. Another over-under that I like. The amount of tweets that Donald Trump, our president, sends out on February 3rd. Over-under? 6. I love that over.
Oh, yeah. Over.
I mean, he's going to be telling Bill Belichick how to coach. He's going to be telling Sean McVay how to run an offense. I love those. But actual bets for the game, blue Gatorade is plus 400. Both these teams are blue, so that's the only Gatorade color that they could share. I like that because either way you have it. And then I also like the Patriots' first team to score a touchdown. Because the Rams, they've all postseason have elected to kick in the first half and get it in the second half. Patriots, they've elected to receive. So just by the odds game, I like that a lot. So we'll go ahead and say, what are the keys to both teams to be able to win this game?
Before I go, I'd like to say that Bovada's taken down the player props, or at least it appears they have. I can't find them. So if you're listening, look for the game and see what Sudan rushing yards is at. I'd probably bet that up to like 45.5 yards.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty safe at that still. But the key to the game, my biggest key to the game is Aaron Donald. Because how did look back at the Patriots-Chiefs game, Patriots beat the Chiefs because they got pushed up the middle on Patrick Mahomes. But what do the Patriots do better than anybody else? They just dump it down to James White or Julian Edelman over and over and over again. So on the defense, the Rams have to basically force Tom Brady to do that so they can prepare for it. For that to happen, Donald has to pressure Tom Brady every single pass attempt, so the Rams know what's going to come, and they can shut down James White and Julian Edelman in the game. I think if Donald can get continuous pressure on Tom Brady, or even Duncan Sue even, on Tom Brady, the Rams will win this game. Not easily, but they'll be able to at least shut down Patriots' offense enough where the Patriots will be able to score 35, 32 points, and have to kind of play a defensive battle instead of keep up game with the Rams. Ultimately, I think the Rams will win the game because I think they're going to be able to do this because just no one can stop Aaron Donald in the league. Mm-hmm. And I think the offense, Gurley will be healthy for this game and play a lot. I think they'll click on all cylinders. Sean McVay is just a great coach. He's going to be able to put guys in space for Jared Goff quickly because Jared Goff can't go off his first option too well. I'm taking the Rams in this game. I don't have a score for you, but I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same thing you are. I mean, one thing the Patriots do really well is stop pressure on Brady, especially coming from the outside. I mean, Tom Brady doesn't get hit. It's a mixture of the good offensive line schemes they have and the fact that Tom Brady just clearly can feel when the pressure's coming and gets the ball out of there. I'm kind of piggybacking off what you're saying, Aaron Darnold, very, very important. But I think the Patriots are going to really hone on him. So I think it's going to really come down, because Aaron Donald's going to do his thing. I think it's going to really come down to Ndamukong Suh, as crazy as it sounds. I think he's the one who's going to have more opportunities due to he's not going to be as double teamed as much to actually make an impact and put the pressure up the middle so they can get to Tom Brady and not let him sit back there and dink and dunk the whole time. Because like you said, there is no team better than getting the ball to the running backs and getting the ball into the flats than Tom Brady. So the keys for the Rams is for Ndamukong Suh and Aaron Donald to get as much pressure as possible for them to limit Tom Brady's time in the pocket. And more importantly, I think Todd Gurley, if he's healthy, that is huge, because the Rams need to control the run game on their side and just keep Brady on the sidelines. And if Brady's come back on the field, the Rams better have scored some points. And that sounds very basic, but that is the way to beat the Rams. You need pressure up the middle, a very good strong man coverage, and you need to be able to control the ball on offense. So I also think the Rams will win. I say that, but the Patriots always make me nervous, and I picked against the Patriots every single game of the postseason so far. So maybe I'm not the best one to ask, but I think it'll be the Rams.
Out of postseason games, I've actually only gotten 2 right. I picked every single game, and I've gotten 2 right of every. I don't know where to go at this point. But I do know what the keys to the games are for both sides. And Brian, I think you hit it on the head. And one thing that I'm really excited for is primetime Ndamukong Suh. You remember that weird time whenever the Lions would never really get a primetime game, but every Thanksgiving he would either kick somebody in the nuts or stomp on a foot?
Well, yeah, they couldn't get a primetime game to make the NFL look bad.
I love it. He is prime time. This is as prime time as you can get. He knows there will be billions of people watching him. Ndamukong Suh, he's going to get a little dirty, and I cannot wait for that. And it seems like he's bumped up his play in the postseason, and I think that he's going to be the biggest factor here because we know Aaron Donald's great.
I mean, he only got 4.5 sacks this season, and he got 1.5 last game.
Yeah.
He's clearly trying to – he's clearly getting because obviously people are focusing on Aaron Donald more. So because they think that they can shut Donald down and then they're set. Well, Ndamukong Suh, you go one-on-one with him, he's still as strong as a grill, and he's going to get a sack almost every time one-on-one. But I also look at Mark Barron. He's their linebacker that was converted to a safety. Got him from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a few years ago. He's going to have his eyes in the backfield on the running back almost at all times because he does have that speed to where he can get sideline to sideline and kind of negate the short passes of Tom Brady just killing him over and over. And Talib is going to have to be able to go man on man and be able to shut down Julian Edelman. And, it makes me a little scared to say that because then you're going to leave Chris Hogan one-on-one with Marcus Peters, which Marcus Peters is susceptible to a double move, and Chris Hogan is actually a really good route runner. So a key for the Patriots to win would have to be get a lot of Chris Hogan on Marcus Peters because he is going to be able to win that matchup more often than not, and Brady's going to be able to see it. Also, Patriots are going to have to run the ball to keep Ndamukong Suh and Aaron Donald from being able to just pin their ears back and run upfield at Tom Brady. I think this is going to be a really, really good game. I'm going to save my prediction for our headline. That way you'll be able to tell there. But, guys, whatever I tell you to bet the opposite because I have only won 2 playoff games. I think you even hit on something a little bit more important is the Patriots' ability to run the ball.
Absolutely.
Because the Rams, they let up a lot of rushing yards during the regular season, but they've been doing a lot better in the postseason. And the Patriots really rely on getting huge chunks of yards from their running back. So I'm really looking forward to seeing which team is able to establish that run game because obviously that's going to be huge.
Yeah, I agree there. Guys, Monday headlines. So we haven't done this in a while. What will the headline read Monday morning?
Front page headline is going to read Rams greater than GOATs.
Ooh. And
then the secondary headline for the next story is going to be GOAT ? Tom Brady claims to the throne in question after falling 5-4 in Super Bowls.
I love that.
I was trying to think of something like that because for some reason our society deducts more points from your GOATness, quote unquote, if you get to the Super Bowl but lose.
Yes.
Instead of not getting to the Super Bowl at all.
Well, that makes sense. Can't win the big one, Brandon.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you get to the big one. You got to win the big one.
You have to win the big one. That's why I take Dan Marino over Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly lost too many Super Bowls for my liking.
Only reason why.
Only reason you take him over. My headliner is going to be McVay and the Rams get 17-year revenge on Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Oh, I like that. So mine, you guys are going to have to close your eyes real quick because you're going to have to get a little creative, okay? Because I'm doing a little wordplay here, okay? So it's going to say Deflategate with a line through it. Spygate with a line through it. And then it's going to read McVayGate. The newest cheat code to winning a title has been released at last. And the L and the A and at last is going to it's going to be capitalized with little periods after the end. What do you think about that?
I actually really like that personally.
That's good.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just talking to me, but I actually really like that.
Yeah. I think that's what's going to happen.
Good job.
You're pretty creative right there. Good job, man.
Yeah, thank you. And we're going to call this episode McVayGate.
McVayGate. Okay, that works. I'll put it down somewhere.
So, guys, who's going to be Super Bowl MVP? We have all picked the Rams. Who's going to win? Or who's going to be the MVP? Which this is also a good little... I wrote down some of the odds to win on Bovada.
Oh,
so
that's nice. Aaron Donald.
Plus 1,800.
Fucking ban that.
Yeah, plus 1,800 is Aaron Donald.
I actually am going to go with Ndamukong Suh, his defensive tackle mate there, because I'm going to say if they're going to win the game, Suh's going to get 2 sacks and have to stop the run.
Dude, I do not know what that would pay out, but I guarantee it's going to be huge. You guys ready to hear Todd Gurley's odds for this thing? I think is going to win it. I think he's actually healthy now. I know for a while we've been saying, oh, he's healthy, and then he gets 4 carries. I think he's finally healthy. He is plus 1,000 to win the MVP. Both quarterbacks are like 125 and then 225. I feel like if the Rams win, it's not going to be because of Jared Goff.
No, I don't think so either.
So Sean McVay's not an option on Bovada.
Oh, I wish it was.
He cannot
I would
win.
hammer that. It's the same odds as whenever you bet know that Billy McFarland will not sell Super Bowl tickets. So, guys, one bold prediction for this Super Bowl.
James White has 3 touchdowns.
So
And
You better be betting the over.
And they still lose. James White has 3 touchdowns. Patriots still lose the game.
You know what? That is going to actually be the Super Bowl that I want. Because I want to see some offense. I don't want to see a lame defensive struggle here. You know, the Patriots have been implementing a lot of trick plays in big games the last couple of years. They even ran a flea flicker in the AFC Championship game. I think this is Brady's moment. He's going to do it. He's going to catch a touchdown pass. They've been trying to get him a touchdown pass for a while, and it's going to happen
bet that.
right here on the biggest stage. At 41 years of age, Tom Brady will get a touchdown reception.
I like that. They tried to throw it to him last year.
They did. Did he just drop it last year?
It's just that it's with his fingertips.
He's not very. He doesn't have the clutch gene. He couldn't reel it in.
Nah, he's been practicing this all year long for this moment. It's going to happen.
Mine's actually that Aaron Donald is going to make a play that's going to set up for a score for the Rams. So whether he scoops and scores, whether it's a safety, whether he knocks the ball out of Brady's hands, they pick it up and run it back, Aaron Donald's going to make a difference-making play that's going to win him the MVP and pay me out for my plus $1,800 bet.
So, wait. You think that Aaron Donald will win the MVP? Do you think Todd Gurley will win the MVP?
I hope they both win the MVP. I'm going to bet them both.
That should have been your bold take for the Super Bowl.
Holy shit. Wait a second. If I bet both of them and they give co-MVPs...
You will win both. You should win both bets.
Wow.
Should win both bets.
We'll just nullify it.
I'm just going to parlay them.
You should parlay this too. Another thing, can you parlay... You still can't do that one. That's not going to work out for you.
No.
But so you're thinking Todd Gurley is your MVP?
Yeah.
So you're thinking that Aaron Donald, Todd Gurley get co-MVPs?
Yeah, co-MVPs. That's what my bold prediction is.
That's a very bold thought. You have more bold thoughts for us?
Yes. Actually, I do.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine.
As if things couldn't get worse for Saints fans, Anthony Davis reports that he will not be re-signing with the Pelicans. Expect Lonzo Ball to fake an injury at any time now. Bourbon Street. LeVar Ball, better combination than MJ and Pippen. If I have to hear about how James Harden scored 61 points in Madison Square Garden, the Mecca, where it brings out the best in people, I'm going to lose it. My headline reads, James Harden, 22 for 25 from the free throw line versus the 10-38 Knicks. Adam Vinatieri, coming back for season number 24. My favorite fun fact for the NFL going into this season. January 5th, 1997, he went 4 for 4 in extra points in a win in the playoffs against the Steelers. 2 days later, Lamar Jackson was born. The Chicago Bears signed a new kicker. The Cody Parkey era is a thing of the past. Maybe next time he's paid to kick footballs for $2 million, he will allow it to define him. Indiana Pacers, most unlucky franchise in sports history. Golden State Warriors, greatest sports roster ever assembled. John Gruden, marking your territory does not count when it comes to college prospects. Mariano Rivera, greatest baseball player in MLB history that has played less than half of the innings as Andrew Benintendi. And there's a new book out this week. It's titled We're Still Here, and it was written by the awkward penmanship of Tom Brady. And those have been my thoughts. Did anybody see that freaking chant?
Oh, I did.
Yes.
I did.
I feel bad. Like, I always hate Tom and I hate Bill, and I hate them all the time. But whenever they get that mic in front of a bunch of people, I always feel sorry for them.
Why?
They just don't know how to talk.
They sound like dipshits. Like,
Well, did you hear the Rams try to talk crap back to him? Like, it was just really awkward and cheesy as well. Like, I don't know why they're trying to make it like a UFC thing where they're talking shit to each other.
some team needs to sign Conor McGregor. Jerry Jones is going to do that shit next year. I guarantee it.
Yeah, that team doesn't have the best smack talk.
Yeah, this is going to be our
Smack talk
trick in the
specialist,
sleeve.
53rd man on the roster.
Yeah, you know Jerry Jones believes in that, right?
We're going to have no punter this year. Go for a fourth down every time. We'll go for a field goal. Conor McGregor to talk shit the whole time.
Well, I mean, they have Dak Prescott. If you ask Skip Bayless, he's the man on 4th and 3rd down because he completes every single pass, even if it's short of the sticks.
And so it doesn't matter on 4th down. So the sticks, complete a pass, I'll take it.
Yeah, you can take it. You have to. Give your guy a chance.
If it's going to Hunter Henry.
Yeah. So, guys, we'll go ahead and move on to some MLB chatter. We are exactly 2 weeks and 1 day until pitchers and catchers report. And we still have the 2 biggest names in free agency in quite some time still unsigned. Bryce Harper, Manny Machado. Guys, why do you think this is the case for both of these guys?
I mean, it's money and them wanting to be the highest paid player in the MLB. There's no other logical reason. I mean, these are 2 26-year-old superstars that are not signed. And, I've been on this podcast and I've been on Twitter. I've been very vocal about I want players being played. I don't care. They should be able to demand whatever they want. But, and also baseball contracts are set up so strange that these players have such a short time to capitalize on their abilities. I mean, they have to go through all these arbitrations and things of that nature. But this is the bottom line. If I want to go to my manager and I want to demand $200,000 to do my job, I have that right. And if I don't want to take less money and they don't want to give me that money, then you know what I won't have? A job. And that's exactly what's happening to these baseball players. All this talk about teams tanking or not actively trying to win, that's complete horseshit to me. These teams are just wising up. They're not going to try to pay people like Albert Pujols $24 million for 10 years. I mean, Miguel Cabrera is collecting $31 million till 2023. David Price is getting $31 million to bounce between the bullpen and the rotation. I mean, Felix Hernandez can't break a 5 ERA, and he's getting paid $23 million for next year.
Hey, you leave King Felix alone.
And this is the big kicker. Prince Fielder will be paid $106 million between the years of 2016 to 2020 not to hit a single baseball, not to even take the field. I mean, it makes no sense for these teams to sign players for that long and that big of contracts. They're just wising up. This is the market now. You're only worth what somebody tells you are worth.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just as simple as it is.
Yeah, they're playing a game of chicken with each other in a sense.
You guys ever seen that meme where it's Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man and it's cartoon?
Yes,
That's
it.
these two.
Up to last season, the thing has always been oh, you gotta be at the start of training camp. You gotta be there at the beginning of it. Well, last year, J. Martinez signed 2 weeks after it started and hit 45 home runs. So now no one's scared of that anymore either. So the game of chicken is who's going to blink first. And the teams are going to win every time because the teams are paying them the money. Like, are you just not going to take $200 million Bryce Harper, Manny Machado? No, you're not. Like, at some point in time, you're going to say, okay, let's just do this.
Yeah, and I can't stand, like, is it Scott Boras is the super agent?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he's the super agent.
He's over there trying to get, and I've been on this, he's trying to get mediocre players $20 million a year. Like, obviously, this Bryce Harper, Manny Machado aren't mediocre, but he is trying to do that. And that's just completely, like, he can't be pissed off when teams are trying to pay them market value.
Yeah, no, you're right. But then go back like, a little bit. You said David Price gets paid $30 million, go back and forth from the lineup and bullpen. You also win both championships, so it's totally worth it.
If it's worth it to you, then yes. If it's worth it to the Red Sox, then they pay it. But to me, that wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah, I wish Scott Boras would, like, open up a car dealership. Because they would never, he wouldn't sell a car ever. Like, somebody come in and they'd be like, they'd be like, well, I saw this car for $20,000 just across the street. Can I get it for $25,000? Nope, it's worth $50,000. Like, this guy is unbelievable to me. And the fact that he's continually getting clients and, like, people continue, like, seek out his advice, it's just mind-boggling to me. Because these teams don't want to work with this guy at this point. Like, he has to be the hardest guy in the world to work with because, like Brandon said, like, decent players, like guys who, you wouldn't blink an eye if they are getting platooned for, are getting huge contracts just because this guy's out there lobbying for it. And the fact that, Bryce Harper, now, maybe the best player in baseball, everybody has their opinions, but, you can make an argument for him. What's he worth to Scott Boras? And that's where we're going to run into, and we're just going to continue to play this game. Like Leighton said, it's a staring competition, and I don't think either side is going to blink. I'm not going to be surprised if we don't go all the way into the MLB season with Bryce Harper still unsigned because nobody's wanting to pay him what Scott Boras thinks that he's worth.
Now, at some point in time, you're going to sign, but I don't think it'll be this year. At some point in time, we will see a player not to be signed.
I mean, and we don't get political here, Bill. I mean, this type of stuff goes on in our government. I mean, we were just shut down for, 3 weeks because people were playing chicken with each other. This is going on all over. I mean, it's happening with the NFL with Le'Veon Bell to an extent. That's how it happened. This is a business, and this is how business is done.
Brandon, you're a genius.
How am I genius?
You put 2 and 2. Oh, my God. I didn't realize this. Bryce Harper's been working for the government since he moved to the Nationals. He should sign at any time now.
He's ready to sign.
Well, he's ready to sign. The government shutdown is over, and he's ready to sign.
Actually, it's going to open for 3 weeks. It's going to open for 3 weeks and shut down again. So from now, between middle of February, he'll sign.
Yes.
But if he doesn't sign, we're toast.
But we'll see you in 2020.
And a lot of people were also pointing at the fact that it doesn't seem like other sports are having such a big issue with this. But no other sport do you sign for 10 years for $30 million a year. This is such a unique sport that you're able to do this in.
Yeah, and what other sport has Hall of Famers that have played for 7 different teams?
Yeah, none, because you can't.
Like, Randy Johnson played for 7 teams. And, he's considered one of the best players ever. This is such a rare sport where, you have guys who play, a guy gets into the Hall of Fame just almost every other year that's played for 4 and 5 teams. In the NFL, that doesn't happen. Whenever players switch teams in the NBA, everybody loses their mind over it, So I do agree with Brandon there where it is such a different sport to where you could understand why guys are holding out for this long, but something has to be done. Guys, do you expect this to linger into, obviously spring training and maybe even the season?
I don't think either they'll be signed before spring training opens. I think they'll sign before the actual season, but last year we saw Greg Holland not do that. But Greg Holland did really bad last year with no spring training at all, so I think they'll want to get at least some spring training work in, and then not start season single A or triple A, wherever they got to start at.
Yeah, I think once spring training is here, it's really going to get real, and these guys are going to sign a contract. I don't think it'll be before spring training. I think it'll be a little bit into it. But I don't think we're going to get very far into spring training with these guys unsigned.
Yeah, and do you guys think this is just what we should expect from now on with the MLB and free agency?
Yeah, absolutely, because we've seen it back-to-back years now. Next year, Nolan Arenado is a free agent. He's better than both these guys. After 2020, Mike Trout and Mookie Betts are both free agents, both MVP award winners. And then after that season, Francisco Lindor and Carlos Correa are both free agents. So there's a ton of good young players in baseball right now. They're all going to become free agents year after year after year. At some point in time, the league's going to break where they start getting paid again, or they start sitting out actual regular season games. And a player strike is definitely not a possibility right now.
No, it's not. And I think one of the biggest issues is just the way, like I've said before, these contracts are set up. Like, some of these players aren't getting their first contracts until they're 28 years old. I mean, no wonder they're wanting 10 years. I mean, they've been getting paid on, like, basically 1-year arbitration deals for years. Something needs to change. I think that's a complete ridiculous system. I'm asking for a lot for that whole system to change, but I'm with Layton. This is just what we're gonna expect until something gives.
Yeah, I definitely agree here. I actually pulled up a little stat about, like, you know, these guys want to be the highest paid player in the MLB. Since 1985, do you know how many times the highest paid player has won a World Series?
Alex Rodriguez was in one of them.
Yeah, so that's one we have.
He was the highest paid player for a while.
Yeah. Kershaw never won one.
I'm going to go with one.
I'm going to go with one.
There's actually been 3.
Okay.
2009 A-Rod, 2004 Manny Ramirez, and 1993 Joe Carter.
How crazy that man is the highest pay in baseball at one point.
It was 1 year. It was a 1 year splash.
Then A-Rod got the contract probably. So
long.
Yeah, but I mean, to be the highest paid player, that's pretty bad odds, in baseball. So I think that teams are finally sitting back and saying, like, hey, obviously one player does not make that big of a difference. Like, if we can just divvy out this money and just get a bunch of guys who we can, swap in and out. We fill multiple needs instead of just going out and signing a freaking right fielder for, $40 million a year.
Yep. Another thing I was talking about before we move on, we didn't talk about it earlier. Another thing that's happening is look back at who won the past 4 World Series. 2015, the Royals. 2016, the Cubs. 17, Astros. 18, Red Sox. Almost all players in those teams that had impact were all homegrown guys, not being paid any money for. And the new luxury tax penalty, you lose your first round draft
Chris Sale, David Price, Kimbrel.
So 3 guys out of 25.
No,
okay.
Chris Sale was also trade, but yeah.
John Lester. But no.
But you're right with the free agency. You do lose draft picks.
You lose your draft
That's what
picks.
People aren't realizing.
And a lot of good players on those teams, like Chris Bryant, Alex Bregman, Carlos Correa, first round draft picks, and they want to keep their top prospects. So that's the reason why you're not going to pay one guy 33% of the payroll.
That's a good point.
All right, so we'll go ahead and talk about the MLB Hall of Fame class. It was actually pretty historic. First time we've had a unanimous vote with Mariano Rivera, and the first time we've had a DH in there with Edgar Martinez. Guys, what did you think about the 2 players kind of breaking the barrier for guys?
Well, with Mariano Rivera, I pretty much figured he would be the first one. I mean, if you look at the history of the closer, and I've actually wrote an article about closers, they didn't really start becoming a thing in baseball until very late. And then, so, Mariano Rivera was really the person who changed the game for closers. He was the automatic out in the 9th, and he pretty much solidified the position as we know it now. Edgar Martinez is great for DHs now. David Ortiz has a chance. That's really good for Layton. I don't have to hear him cry about that for years.
Steroids, though.
Vitamins.
And you never know about there.
Vitamins.
The one thing I want to hit on is that a lot of people were complaining that Mariano Rivera was the first unanimous selection. Like, why are we complaining about that at all?
I don't care. Like, who cares?
It's about time they just do it.
Yes, because there's a number of for writers, for some reason, that won't vote on a first-year player for the ballot, which makes no sense. You should be going off who is the best players, plain and simple, so you don't get, Joe Schmo you never even heard.
You know what the knock on Greg Maddux was one year, whenever he first came up for vote?
What?
He played in the steroid era.
Oh yeah, no.
The guy
for a
who was
long
6
time-
foot tall, 195 pounds, and threw 90, topping out. He played in the steroid era.
For a long time, like old riders wouldn't vote for those guys playing that era at all. But a lot of the reason, like King Jr. wasn't first ballot Hall of Fame, wasn't 100% because Willie Mays wasn't first ballot Hall of Fame. So some guys just don't believe that he should be one. I guess that changed now. But I don't know. I don't care 100%. Like, what's it matter? What does it matter?
They don't put it on your bus
It doesn't
screen,
matter. We all knew Mariano Rivera was a Hall of Famer. I mean, the guy was unhittable for a stretch of his career, and he pitched for so long. Like, what does it matter if he's the first one? Who cares? He's a surefire Hall of Famer. I mean, that's just what he is.
I think that I'm surprised that nobody brought up the PEDs with him, though.
Yeah, you know, when you look at his story, torn ACL twice in the minor leagues and in the major leagues, came back fine both times.
I was just hitting at the fact that he listened to AC/DC before he took the mound every time.
That
Now, or is it Metallica? I think it's Metallica.
it's Sandman. Yeah, it's Metallica.
Metallica.
But
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a PED. I don't think you should be able to listen to classic rock before you walk out on the mound.
okay, so all right, listen to Beethoven's
But-
Fourth, a little bit of
But
Mozart
Layton
walking
actually
out there.
probably was onto something. He probably did use PEDs.
Yeah, he very well could have used PEDs. Like, there's no ever question it. Like, he very well could have.
Oh yeah. Are you guys surprised though? Like, you knew it had to take a Yankee to do this, right?
Yeah. I mean, that definitely helps.
I think that was
If
like
you
the
go-
one team to break the barrier.
If you go back, so go on baseballreference.com and type in Willie Mays. Go through all of his seasons. Look at the MVP awards he won and then lost like second, third place. And look at who won those awards. They were all Yankees who had inferior seasons. Every
White
time.
Yankees.
Because they are the Yankees, and so many people think they're the greatest thing ever.
Well, also with Willie Mays is that the other players were white.
Oh yeah, and they were white,
that helped
and they were
back
white.
then.
Yep. One time we listened to it, but you know Drake just can't keep out of it.
Well, I mean,
Oh, Drake.
that's
Oh,
the
Drake.
obvious.
So guys, the Big Papi's renamed as Hall of Famer,
I don't know, man.
great player of
Those
all time.
vitamins.
Hey, that had to be first ballot to be 100%. It can be 10th year 100%.
I can't wait till we finally have a player that's like that. Like second
It's gonna
ballot Hall of
happen.
Famer that's like 100%. Didn't get in the first year, next year 100%.
It's gonna happen. That will happen now.
That'll be a good debate. You think Poppy will get in, B-Right?
I do think he'll get in.
I think he will too.
It'd be a
Yeah.
shame to get the greatest player of all time out of the Hall of Fame.
Does it kind of make you mad, though, how they treat DHs, punters, kickers whenever it comes to the Hall of Fame? Like, if you're great at your position, why compare it to other positions? Like, you're not comparing a center to a quarterback. Like, if a center's great, he gets into the Hall of Fame. If a kicker's great, he doesn't get into a Hall of Fame. If a DH is great, he doesn't get in.
The biggest issue in baseball is just because you really are only playing one side of the ball and nobody else is. Like,
Wait a second. How many times did Mariano Rivera take a
yes,
at
no,
bat?
you didn't let me finish there. Okay.
Okay.
All he's doing is hitting. But people view, and you know what? Mariano Rivera broke the barrier there for closers, though. He truly did. I mean, you could make the same argument for Mariano Rivera, 100%. But people view the closer as a separate position, as a specialty position, and they don't, for some reason, view the DH as that because they just view him simply batting. Saying it out loud makes no sense, but that's just the honest-to-God truth, is what people think.
Mariano Rivera 0 for 4 in his career.
0 for 4?
Yep.
And on top of that, there are some still old-school voters, I'm sure, that don't think the DH should be a thing.
No, I agree with that. And that's kind of like crazy to think about because, you know, it is a part of the game, so you just have to accept it. And if the guy's great at his position, he has to get in. Like, whenever I said earlier in my thoughts that Mariano Rivera had played less innings than Andrew Benintendi, that was legit. Half as many innings as Andrew Benintendi. And how long's Benintendi been in the league?
This would be his third year.
Okay. That is
Fourth year.
unbelievable.
But yeah, that is nuts. That is insane.
So guys, this week instead of darts, I actually have compiled a new game for us. It's going to be called Over Under. Kind of catching you guys off guard here because I didn't want you guys to look up any stats. So the way that this will go, I will read off a number, and then I will tell you what that number represents, and you tell me if you guys are guessing over or under and this is a head-to-head competition because I got 5.
Okay. Benny going
All
down,
right.
bitch.
All right. So, first up, 11.5. That's the number. 11.5. That's the points on average that Bill Belichick gives up in the first half of Super Bowls. Over or under?
What's the number? 11.5.
11.5.
I'm gonna go over.
I'm going to go under.
It is actually under.
The past 2 have been awful.
That's how good he was in the first few.
Okay.
The first 4 Super
Okay.
Bowls, the first 4 Super Bowls, or 5 Super Bowls that he coached in, 3 points, and that was against the greatest show on turf, and then 10 points, and then 7, 3, 9.
Okay.
That is unreal.
Yeah.
And then the
I mean,
last
all
3,
his first
14,
Super Bowls
21,
were-
22.
So you're saying he's a
All
pretty
of his
good
first
coach.
Super Bowls were real low
Decent.
scoring.
So 11.5. Brandon, point for you. 150.5. The number of 3-point field goals attempted between James Harden and number 2 in the NBA.
Under.
Wait, James Harden and what?
And the number 2 guy who shot the most threes in the NBA. 150.5.
Ooh, under.
It is over. He has
Shit.
shot 166 more 3-pointers than Steph Curry.
That is crazy.
That
MVP.
is so crazy. He's only made 30 more, though.
It doesn't matter. Keep going.
Yeah.
Now, totals.
All right, so both of you guys got that one wrong, right?
Yes. So
Okay.
Brandon's still up 1-0.
1-0. 95. That is the number of free throws that is between James Harden and the number 2 free throw attempt shooter in the NBA.
100% over. Not even a doubt in my mind.
Yeah, over.
It is actually under.
Ah!
94.
Who number 2?
Joel Embiid.
Okay. That's okay.
All right.
I actually that one coming. I think it'll go and be with number 2 in free throws.
Okay. 4.5 minutes. Over under. The amount of time that the LA Rams were beating the New Orleans Saints in 120 minutes of football that they played.
Oh,
Alright, what number?
4.5 minutes.
Fran, go first.
They played 2 games, 120 minutes. Did they lead
They
for
did play
4.5
2.
minutes?
they got kind of dismantled that first game, but I'm gonna go over.
It's under.
0 seconds. They did not lead for a second.
I knew
of
that
either one of those games.
Actually, I knew that one.
You did?
Yeah, no, I knew.
All right, so it's all tied up. Comes down to the last one here.
Okay.
This is a good one, too. 5.5. The number of playoff road wins that Tom Brady has compared to Mark Sanchez. So does he have more than 5.5 more road wins than Mark Sanchez does in the playoffs?
Sanchez had a lot.
I'm gonna go first because I know the answer.
You know the answer?
Yeah.
He went first
I'm
last
gonna
time.
say-
You got to go first this time.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll say this thing after, but it's under.
It is under, I'm guessing as well, because Tom Brady always has home field advantage.
9
Mark
straight years,
Sanchez-
the first round bye.
And Mark Sanchez, I think he has 4, doesn't he? Or is
They're
it
tied
3?
at 4.
The tied at 4.
Yeah. Tied at 4. So both you guys only got one right.
Got one right. We suck at this game.
Yeah. I kind of like
We
that
both got
game,
two.
though.
We got 2 right.
You guys both got one right. One apiece.
Yeah.
We just got that last one right, too.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that one
So
doesn't
we're
count.
tied 2-2. For
Yeah.
tiebreaker.
I don't have any more.
You prepared for a tiebreaker?
I was not prepared for a tiebreaker. But hey, I thought that was a hell of a game.
It's a good game. I wish you could decide a winner.
I even put odd number on there because I figured you guys would just go opposite each other the whole time.
What would the winner get?
I don't know.
We'll never know now.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
We'll never
Hey, win next time.
Next time we gotta win. Next time I'll do more random stat research for no reason and we'll figure it all out.
Yeah, I had a good time looking those up though. I thought it was pretty fun. I saw how many points Bill Belichick had given up. It was 11.1, and I'm like, nobody in the world would guess that after the last 3. All right, guys, so let's talk a little bit about some NCAA basketball. Guys, Kentucky has been on fire recently. They put on a rebounding clinic on Saturday in Rupp Arena and beat Kansas 71-63. This marks their third straight win versus a ranked opponent in 8 days. Guys, how good is this Kentucky basketball team?
I'm going to channel my inner Romeo Cornell and say they're just who we thought we are. They are who we thought they were. Like every year Kentucky had this really talented team. Just can they put it together? And if they can, how many minutes?
I don't think that was Romeo Cornell.
Was it Cornell?
No.
Who was it? You look that up. I'll finish my take.
Yes.
So basically, every year Kentucky is super talented, and the question is, can they put it together? And if so, for how many games or even minutes can they do it for? They happen to have 3 straight games with ranked opponents. They won all 3 games. They're peaking right now. About 2 months ago, I said that I would be really shocked if they beat Duke. Right now, I wouldn't be as shocked because Duke's playing like complete shit, and Kentucky's playing the best basketball they've played in 2 or 3 seasons.
It was Dennis Green, by the way.
To say Duke is playing like complete
Do not tell me they're not playing like shit. They're playing so under their ability. It's insane.
They're playing under their ability, but still being ranked opponents.
They still lost
Like,
3 out of the last 4 games.
So,
But they're still beating teams.
I mean, they've only lost 2 games all year, but okay.
Trash.
Anyway, so like Layton said, this team is talented. We knew they were talented. I've actually watched the Kansas game and the Auburn game, and I mean, they do impress. PJ Washington, obviously always going to be there, but I think the real, this team really comes down to 2 players, and it's just because they're not always there, and that's Tyler Hero and Reed Travis. Reed Travis, he's just a stud at rebounding.
Dude, Reed Travis is my favorite player ever.
He's just he's so like unselfish. Sometimes he's almost unselfish to a fault. Reed Travis is basically the guy who's going to rebound, do all the little things that's not on the stat sheet. Tyler Hero, he is a complete pure scorer, like plain and simple. He can completely take over stretches of the game, but the biggest thing with him is that he has 2 modes, and both modes can kill him. It's his total killer mode where he demands the ball every single possession, and sometimes he shoots them out of games, or he just evaporates in the background, and he's not that good of a defensive player, so he's just a liability, and he does nothing the whole game. So if those 2 players can be consistent the whole time, PJ Washington's always going to be there, they can make a run in the postseason. But, I mean, to make it plain and simple, like Layton said, this is the team we thought they were going to be.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And, week 1, I put in my notes, whenever they were getting beat by Duke, I actually wrote in my notes, I felt sorry for Coach Calipari. And I never liked Coach Calipari. And the reason why I feel bad for him is because he's getting beat by his own game by Coach K, another guy I'm really not a big fan of. So I really have been rooting for this team since that loss because I want them to come back and knit back on the heels of Duke and avenge that week 1 loss just so Calipari can lose the very next round. But that being said, this team is as good as their 3-point shooting can be. Mm-hmm. I mean, you look at this team, like Reed Travis, he's always going to be down there, he's going to be banging, he's going to be tough. He's not necessarily the best player in the world, but he's tough. And he's their senior leader. And then you have PJ Washington, who's probably this team's best player. He's also a veteran, which is really weird to say that Coach Calipari has 2 guys who've played 1 season under his tutelage, and they came back. So that's really rare for him to have 2 front court guys like that have actually played for him a full season. But then you look at what they've done from 3. Last week, whenever they were playing Kansas, they were down by 2 at halftime, and they shot 0 for 8 in the first half. Second half rolls around. They end up shooting 4 for 10. They were trailing by 2 in the first. They win by 8. Then their other losses on the season. They've shot 35% this season. But you look at the Duke game. They shot 23% from 3, 52% from 2. Seton Hall, 25% from 3, 43% from 2. 28% from 3 against Bama, 49% from 2. So they're always going to be able to make shots whenever they're close to the basket because this team is so freaking talented. But whenever their 3-point shots are not falling, this team is in serious trouble because, like Brandon had said, Hero, likes to play hero ball a little bit too much, and he'll shoot him out of games. But he also can just evaporate. So once this team, I think once it gets closer to the tournament time, they'll all fit into those roles like Coach Calipari's teams always do, and he kind of, he has them grow up mid-season. I think this team could legitimately win a national championship. I don't feel crazy saying that.
I don't know, they could, they are as talented as almost any team in the country. Just how long can they put it together for? And when will it fall apart?
Right after they beat Duke, hopefully.
I hope they beat Duke.
They won't beat Duke.
But guys, on the other side of the coin in that game, Kansas, they've actually been looking pretty rough lately. They're 4-3 since Azubuike went out for the season. They're 5-2 in the conference right now and still tied for first place in the Big 12. But since they're struggling, we always have to mention it. It's been since the 03-04 season that Kansas has not at least had a share of the Big 12 title. Guys, is this the season?
It's not anything to go right now, but I think they'll still get a share of it. The team's still really talented. Just learning how to play without Azubuike right now. Bill Self is good coach as anybody in the country. I think he'll get something figured out enough to be competitive in their own conference to at least share a portion of the title.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm 100% betting they're winning the Big 12. I mean, is there anything you guys want me to do if they don't win the Big 12? I'm that.
Shake your head.
Ooh.
Raise your head.
There we go. That's what we're going to do. And if you guys don't know, I have a massive receding hairline that I refuse
Wait,
to
is this a deal?
It's a deal right now.
Oh, man. I hate Kansas right now. Hope Kansas lose every game.
So if they don't at least share the portion of the Big 12 title, I'll shave the head.
The Big 12 is bad, though. That is your saving grace.
Brandon, what if they lose it by 3 or more games? You shave your eyebrows?
No, that's not part of it.
They're pretty. The Big 12 is pretty bad, though. I was looking through other conferences.
That's kind of where I'm. I mean, last year they were so good and so deep. This year they're not. I mean, Kansas is going to at least share the title.
No, I agree. But do you guys look at this team even as a national title threat, though?
Not right now. Right now, you just really can't. But how they play Azubuike. But like I said, they do just have so much experience, such a good coach. If they can get things figured out, and maybe get a 2 or 3 seed kind of tournament time, you could look at them and see if they can get there.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Layden.
Yeah, it's going to take one guy to step up. Like last year in the tournament, Malik Newman could hit a shot for him at any time. Devontae Graham could hit a shot for him at any time. Now it's basically everybody stands there, hands on their hips, waiting for Dedrick Lawson to make a play. And, I mean, rarely do you have a big man that can make a play at the end of games to just, consistently put you over the hump. So it's going to have to take somebody to step up. And it's going to have to be Vic, in my opinion. But we'll see if that actually comes around. So, guys, this is one of my favorite segments. It is Be Right, the Hot Take Detective. Every year, or every week that we have Brandon on, I give him 3 takes. Usually pretty warm to hot takes. And he tells me whether or not he agrees with my take, which is a huge rarity, or he disagrees, which is almost the whole entire time. I think this is the only reason why he watches sports is to tell me that I'm wrong. So, take number 1. The Bears have under contract through at least 2021 Khalil Mack, Kyle Fuller, Roquan Smith, Akeem Hicks, Mitchell Trubisky, Eddie Goldman, Bobby Massey, Charles Leno Jr., Trey Burton, Kyle Long, James Daniels, Anthony Miller, Taylor Gabriel. If every single team in the NFL had even odds, if I were to bet on one team to win a Super Bowl in the next 3 years, the Chicago Bears would be the smartest bet.
So I'll admit, yes, the Bears are very impressive, and they should be good for a while. I think they played better than they honestly should have this year, which is a really good sign for them. But I just looked at the 2 teams that are in the Super Bowl, and you have the Rams. They literally have Jared Goff, Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, their entire offensive line, and every defensive player not named Ndamukong Suh and LaMarcus Joyner under contract for at least 3 years. Overall, I think the Rams are a more complete roster. I would just say right there, I'd stop and say the Rams are the betting favorite. And that's just, I didn't have to go past the Rams there.
Head-to-head, Brandon. That nucleus versus Bears nucleus, who has the winning record?
Who's in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, we Cody Parkey, man. We got Cody Parkey out. We're set now.
And they have actually Greg Zuerlein for 4 years. Crazy they have a kicker for that long.
Wait, what do you mean? If I had Greg Zuerlein right now on the Bears, I would be lobbying us for us to sign him for 15 years.
That's true.
Kickers don't
Baseball
go bad.
contract. That's true.
Actually, yeah, Robert Aguirre went really bad.
Yes, that was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life, though.
Mental. Has to be mental.
Yeah, I could take him out to a high school football field, and he could go like 15 for 15 from 50 yards. All right, take number 2. Bill Belichick and his defensive prowess will hold the Rams under 8 points in the first half of the Super Bowl.
So, Leighton, I'm going to be honest. This is the reason that I knew that one was under earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, a little research.
Inside information given here. A little tip. That's how it is.
Well, anyway, I'm actually going to agree with you on this one. They held the Chargers and the Chiefs under 8 points, and they both ended up scoring, over like 28? For some reason, the Patriots, first half, they've been very good this season. So I'm going to actually agree with you on this take. Crazy enough.
I think that's a hell of a bet to take this weekend.
I think it is, but I also think the Rams will probably still put up 3 second half scores. So.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just saying first half spread.
Yeah.
Like, if I could get the first half over-under on the Rams points, I'm going to hammer the under.
For sure.
All right, third take. NBA, next year, opening night tip-off, the Lakers starting 5 will include Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and Kyrie Irving.
So I don't think this will happen. I think actually Kyrie Irving will stay in Boston. Boston has a real thing going there. They are a definite title contender. I think they could even do it this year. They could figure everything out. And I think that's Kyrie's team. I think that's where he belongs. And, take people's word for it for what it's worth. He has said he'll resign, but, yeah, obviously you go back on that. I actually think L.A., if they get AD, I think they have a real chance of getting Kemba Walker. He is kind of flown under the radar. I could see him really buying into LeBron's, idea of what a team should be. And on top of that, Kemba should be very, very eager to move away from Charlotte and that dysfunctional franchise.
Whoa, Brandon. He will go from playing under the GOAT to going to playing under LeBron. Why would you do that?
Well, that GOAT decided to draft Kwame Brown, and I'll never forget that.
Yes.
So I really think that is actually going to be what it's going to end up. Is going to be LeBron, AD, and Kemba Walker. You heard it here first.
I can see that.
I just think that Kyrie whole relationship, I know they've kind of, have settled their differences, but I don't think they're ever going to play again on an NBA franchise together.
I really want them to, just so I can see it flounder again.
I can't wait to see if it works out or not. That'd be interesting to see.
Kyrie can't get out of his own way.
It would be very interesting to see, but I just think Kyrie at the end of the day knows that he wants his own team, and he's never going to be – it's never going to be Kyrie's team as long as LeBron's there, obviously. So –
well, LeBron could opt out in 2 years and play with the Sun whenever the Sun gets drafted too.
That
would be interesting.
Just saying.
Don't ever forget about the – or, yeah, you know what? You are just saying that's a good
It'll
point.
be like the Griffies, dude. I can't wait. All right, so you think that I was correct on one of my 3 takes?
I do.
Okay, I can live with that.
It's about what it normally is.
Yeah, I can take one. All right, guys. So the NBA All-Star starters and captains were announced this week, and in the East, we have Giannis as a captain. Then we have Kemba Walker, Kawhi Leonard, Joel Embiid, and Kyrie Irving as starters. Guys, did we get it right or did we get it wrong? And if we got it wrong, how could we get it right?
So, I would like to see Victor Oladipo be in the top 5 of players. I know he got hurt. He might have been in the top 5 that has come out because he got hurt. But I thought he should have been in the top 5. Maybe we'll got Kemba, Kyrie Irving, put him above one of those two. But I have Victor Oladipo in there. Other than that, I like it.
Do you think statistically he was better than Kyrie Irving? Or
I think he
Kemba
means
Walker?
more to his team than Kyrie Irving does. More important player.
But he's not having a better season than those two.
But if you look at it 2 ways, like defensively he is better. And that's where, like, I would.
I believe he affects the game more than both those guys. That's what I'm saying.
Kyrie Irving affects the game more than the Pacers couldn't win without
the Celtics are worse with Kyrie Irving. Arguably worse with Kyrie Irving on the court.
Which is weird.
Yeah, arguably worse.
I guess that's true.
Which is weird.
Well,
wait.
Charlotte,
he does affect
Charlotte
the game more.
He does affect the game more.
Charlotte might have one win if it wasn't for Kemba Walker.
Yes, no. Kimba definitely deserves. True. The only thing that I was going to say is that maybe you could move Kyrie out for Victor Oladipo, but he's hurt now, so it would be Kyrie. But you can't move Kemba. Because if you took Kemba out away from the Hornets, they would have won like 2 games.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And then the only other person I think that you could make a case for is Bradley Beal, because he's putting up numbers this year.
Oh, yeah.
But
Blake Griffin, too.
I definitely think they got the right 2 there with Kemba and Kyrie Irving. And clearly Giannis, sorry, I don't know why I called him Giannis for a second. Giannis, Joel Embiid, those guys are locks. So for me, they did really well. And I guess you could throw Blake Griffin into the mix. But
yeah,
I mean,
are you really going to move out Giannis or
exactly.
Joel Embiid? No,
you're not, exactly. I mean, it was just where he landed. Blake Griffin has a little tougher competition. I think they got it right, though.
Yeah. No, I think that if Blake Griffin, though, was in the West, like, I would almost, like, lock him in for this, but unfortunately he's not. So in the West, we have LeBron as a captain. Obviously questionable, but it's LeBron, so he's going to get that nod every single time. Then you have Steph, KD, Paul George, and James Harden. Guys, did they get it right? Did they get it wrong? And if they got it wrong, what would you change?
I think they got it right, with the exception that LeBron just shouldn't have been the captain, can't play him so long. If he can't play, he's still one of the 5 best players in Western Conference. He would be a starter, but probably not the captain. That ball probably going to Steph. Steph's having the most underrated season made of any player right now. He's like almost on par with what he did 2 or 3 seasons ago. Just no one's talking about it.
Absolutely not. I don't know why either.
Well, because it's old now, and James Harden is scoring 60 points a game. James Harden's MVP. He should be captain, but go ahead.
Yeah, I know. The fact that James Harden is not the captain is just ridiculous. I mean, whether you like his style of play or not, James Harden is just putting up the absolute numbers, and he means the most to his team. I mean, LeBron isn't even on the court right now, which, yes, I think he should be a starter, and he's the best player in the NBA, but he's not having the best season. And one other thing that I'm a little bit upset at is how Anthony Davis isn't a starter. He's averaging 29.3 points per game, 13.3 rebounds, shooting 50% from the field, 33% from 3, with over 2.6 blocks per game.
And he's the only guy in the NBA that is scoring over 23 points per game that has 2 or less turnovers per game.
Yeah, it is an excellent player.
Good stat.
He statistically might have the best season in the NBA, but his team sucks, and for some reason we're in love with the idea that LeBron has to draft a team. So instead of Anthony Davis, who I think Anthony Davis, you could make the argument should be the team captain, isn't even on the starting 5.
Well, see, this is just a test for LeBron to be a GM in a few years. This is his first real test.
LeBron's going to come back for this, right? Like, he could be hurt all the way up to the All-Star break, but as soon as that All-Star break hits, like, he is so extra that he will play in this.
Yeah, I completely agree. But I think this actually brings up a good point that we should probably talk about. I mean, All-Star voting has gotten to be, and it's actually gotten a little bit better now the last couple of years, since they took some of the responsibility off the fans for voting. But, like, Hall of Fames are decided on All-Star Game appearances.
Yes.
They truly are. And, like, it shouldn't be a popularity contest. It's not about who is just the stars or who is the best player overall. It's who's having the best season. That is what the All-Star Game should be.
Yep.
Who means the most to his team and who's having the best season. And LeBron James he should be an all-star no matter what, but this just shows that this is more still of a popularity contest than anything. Well, that really needs to stop.
I would have fixed the problem, too. I figured it out. You get to vote one time. And how do you vote? They send a number to your phone, they got input into your computer, and that's it. You get one vote, not 5 per day.
I agree.
That would be
30 days.
that'd be very nice. Another thing they could do which there would be some flaws with it, but how about you just take the name off of the player's stats and have them look at that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I like that.
Have them
good.
you just see what their record was, how they impacted the game while they were on the court. Their plus
Yeah, but then you'd have LeBron truthers like backtracking his stats, like writing them all down, like, oh, LeBron, and you know that their All-Star ballot, they don't even fill the whole thing out. They just click LeBron.
Yeah, and that's all you got to do.
That's a full ballot for them. That just, it's bad. I understand that it's what the fans want. LeBron's the best, so he needs to be in this thing. But whenever, just like Brandon says, whenever careers and legacies and, Hall of Fame votes rely on this, it's absolutely terrible. And I feel like the Pro Bowl, the All-Star games, all that stuff is just becoming less and less meaningful, and we need to throw it out whenever we look at guys' legacies. Mm-hmm. Because, guys, Dak Prescott is a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yep.
So, guys, this actually hurts me to say, but Victor Oladipo is the first major star to have a season-ending injury this season that I can think of, actually. And, guys, for the 5th time in 5 years, the worst injury in the league happens to happen to mine and Fletcher's Pacers. And, guys, right now they sit in the 3rd place in the Eastern Conference, and they looked poised for an Eastern Conference title. But guys, without Oladipo, what should the expectations for the Pacers be?
Expectations should be to. I think they can still play competitive basketball with a lot of teams in the NBA, just because with the stuff they do have. But I think actually winning the game, where they're going to falter, and eventually, I think going to make the playoffs though, because Eastern Conference still isn't great. But if I'm a fan, I want them to lose some more. Get a high draft pick. I'll do it back next year.
One thing, what you said, this is the 5th time in the last 5 years they've had the worst injury?
2nd time. That's what I meant to say. I think I
just
might
wanted to clarify that because I think I was missing some injuries. Yes, but
yep, I did say 5th.
To win the East, I'm going to give them a 0% chance at this point in time. But let's not get too carried away. The greatest strength of this team, in my opinion, was its absolute depth. I mean, you have players like Miles Turner, you have Sabonis coming off the bench, you have players like Tyreek Evans and Bogdanovich that can score. But when push comes to shove, and you have to rely on Bogdanovich or Evans to consistently get clutch buckets, you have a hard time convincing me that that's going to actually work. I actually wouldn't be surprised though if this team finished as high as 4th. They'll probably finish about 5th. Because after 5th, the East gets very, very weak, and the Pacers are still better. But as far as advancing the playoffs, this isn't their year. And it's too bad because if this injury would have happened at the beginning of the season, at least, like Lade said, they could have tanked and gotten a higher draft pick. But now, if you're in 3rd place, you kind of have to try to keep on winning here. So,
yeah, this is a huge bummer. I do agree with Brandon. I think that this team still is good. Like, they probably will finish with the 5th seed. And they might be able to sneak out a playoff win, like advance past the 1st round, but after that, they don't have a chance. Because, like I said earlier with the Kansas basketball team, like, who's the guy that's going to hit the shot? It's Victor Oladipo. He's not there. So now you're looking at Bogdanovich or Sabonis, and those guys aren't as likely to just take over a game. And if we need a couple baskets back to back to back, they're not going to be able to get the job done. I mean, in a perfect world, Tyreek Evans fits seamlessly into the system and takes over, but that's not going to be the case, unfortunately. I really like this team because of the depth. I loved everything about this Pacers team. They were gritty as hell. They had everything they needed to go to the NBA Finals. Unfortunately, Victor Oladipo was a large portion of that. So I think that their ceiling, advancing past the 1st round, that's only if they get like a 4 or 5 seed. But other than that, I think that you can just go ahead and wipe the season away for this team. So actually, Leighton C. called it. He said that once the Warriors got Boogie back, they would win 22 straight games and run away with the West. Well, right now they've won 10 in a row, 4 of which had Boogie in them. 21 minutes, 13.5 points, 7 rebounds, 3.5 assists. Guys, in just the 4th game back with Boogie healthy, they beat a fully healthy Celtics team. How scared should the rest of the NBA be of the Warriors?
terrified.
Yes.
Absolutely horrified, because if Boogie can play even close to what he did before his Achilles injury, this might be the best team of all time. And this team might not be able to be beaten if they actually care. And today I listened to my good buddy Clay Travis on the way to work today.
Oh, he's a genius.
Well, very good question. If there's $1 billion on the line for each player or total, whatever, I don't know what it was, $1 billion on the line, if the Warriors won every game all season, would the Warriors win every game all season? And
yes.
There's a good chance because they will all come to play every single night because it's $1 billion. And that's what they're going to deal with now. And come playoff time.
Clay Travis?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's going to come playoff time, and every game matters. I think they're going to steamroll through everybody. They might have a close game here and there, but sweep.
So, I mean, there was a reason that all three of us, when Layton got that alert on his phone, acted like our dog died. We were on this podcast, and literally, we were already canceling the NBA season. I mean, there was a reason. This team was already a championship team. They signed an all-star, a very good offensive player. Honestly, this team is getting a new player that, a new dynamic to the team that they've never even had before. They've never had an offensive-minded big man. Never had. I mean, you can consider Draymond Green.
Tyson Chandler, dude. Oh, wait, they didn't have Tyson Chandler. JaVale McGee.
Pachulia.
Okay, yes. They never had, and I just think this is unlike Draymond Green, Cousins can stretch the floor out of the 5 spot. He can also draw some people in, maybe get Klay Thompson some more open shots so he can get going this season. But I'm with you, Layton. This team, people should be terrified. Again, they are who we thought they were. They are going to be the most dominating team. They should win the NBA Finals. If they don't win the NBA Finals, it's one of the most shocking things in sports, to be honest. And that's just how it is. It should be a cakewalk all the way.
No, I agree. It should be a cakewalk, and I don't expect them to lose, more than 4 or 5 games for the remainder of the season, including the playoffs, just because they're that good. Before they got Boogie back, this team was dead last in points in the paint. You think anything's going to change with that?
I bet they get 12 points in the paint.
I guarantee it. Their only weakness, their only weakness, and we were looking at a team that was still in first place in the West. They had a weakness. They fill it. Honestly, if Boogie only plays 20 minutes a game, puts up this kind of production, they're still going to win every single game just because it's not even fair.
Yeah, very few teams get a player this good at the trade deadline, and then a trade for him. This guy gave him $3.5 million.
Yep, that's very true.
That's unbelievable. Guys, so they have 33 games left. Over under 4.5 more losses on the regular season. What would you take?
Under. I'm assuming health. I'm going under.
I'm going over only because this is a veteran ball club. They've been here. They've done that. They already had their 73-win season. They don't need any of that. Stephen Curry will probably rest some games. Obviously, Cousins will rest some games. He's on a minute restriction. I think they'll probably lose about 5, but not much more than that. And when the playoffs comes, when money's on the line, it's going to be scary.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if they'll lose 3 playoff games the whole entire time.
I'm looking forward to the Eastern Conference Championship because if the Celtics can figure it out more, if Gordon Hayward cannot be a liability and actually be an asset, that team can, compete against them. But it's still the Warriors all the way. So
yeah, I agree. So guys, actually, I have a side note here because this was after I made the outline. Anthony Davis says that he requests a trade and he will not be re-signing with the Pelicans. What happens from here?
So no one was surprised that he's going to leave New Orleans. It's New Orleans, they suck. But last week, here's a story. I asked Fletcher this question, or I brought up to Fletcher. He disagreed with me completely. If you're the Lakers, and let's say the Pelicans want a first-round pick, another pick, Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma, do you do that trade? I do 100%. I don't care to give up Brandon Ingram and Kyle Kuzma, because Brandon Ingram has not progressed at all from rookie season. And yeah, Kuzma's playing really good, but you're getting Anthony Davis. Will Kuzma be Anthony Davis? He could be, but it's a very slim chance of it. Do what Anthony Davis already is. It's Anthony Davis. And Drake, what this day said earlier about Anthony Davis? I can't remember, but it was insane. Anthony Davis is a top 10 player in the NBA. Could go down as the best center of all time. He's 25 years old. You can get
I told somebody that the other day, and they looked at me like I had 4 heads.
It was me. I still think you're crazy, but it is possible. But no, you get Anthony Davis for getting Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram draft picks. I think you have to do that trade.
Yeah, but I honestly think at this point the Pelicans obviously still hold all the cards because they can wait till the end of the season and have Boston Celtics into the mix because Kyrie can opt out of his deal. They can do a new deal. They can figure that out. Right now, I mean, it's up to, like you said, it's up to the Lakers. Are they willing to give up basically everything for this man? And I think they should. But the thing is I think they're still going to be asking for I think they're going to be asking for 3 players. I think they're going to be asking for Lonzo, Ingram, and Kuzma at least, and probably some other player just to make the money work, which that player doesn't really matter. The draft picks, they're not going to be as interested in the draft picks because it's a LeBron-led Lakers team. It's going to be a late first-round pick. It's going to be like 26th at best. They're not really going to be interested in that in the future. So the question is, what do the Lakers do in the meantime when they're already been a little injured and now they give away 3 of their best role players? It's going to be LeBron, AD, and a bunch of older players. I mean, who are they going to bring in? They're going to have to bring in Melo. They're going to have to bring in Melo.
Oh, yes. Well, no, I want to go to the 76ers because more shit can go wrong there.
I think all that's fabricated. But I think Melo, I mean, who else can go there? Because honestly, they will have to fill up roster spots.
Yeah,
at that point.
They will. But I couldn't give up Ball, Kuzma, and Ingram because with LeBron hurt, they see what they have, and they have nothing. And so if you give up all 3 of your best players of trash, or Kuzma not trash, but Ball and Ingram looking pretty trashy right now, give up all your best trash, you have ugly trash. And AD, LeBron, and a lot of trash can win you a lot of games.
They still can.
But you touch in the playoffs against the Boogie Cousins-led Warrior team.
Do they still have playoff
it's
Rondo?
Be a little rough.
They do have playoff Rondo.
They do have playoff Rondo. It's going to be a little rough, though, this year if they are able to pull off this trade. Because, like I said, you're going to have Josh Hart starting at times. I mean, it's going to be a little rough. But you have to get AD any way you can. That's the bottom line. And then this free agency, you have to go after a 3rd star. And then you fill in the holes. Because if you have LeBron, AD, Kemba, whoever, players are going to come. They're going to flock. They're going to want to be able to compete against the Warriors and bring them down.
Especially in a world where Boogie Cousins signs for $3.5 million.
Yeah, that's what we're in now.
I mean, they're going to want to win. And you have to do whatever it takes to get this player in, re-sign him, and not let Boston get into a bidding war with you. Because Boston has just as many assets as the Lakers do.
Maybe more.
Guys,
you can't let that happen.
I have next year's Boogie Cousins. Because anything we talk about is going to happen 100% because we said on the podcast. This will lock. Marcus Gasol will opt out last year of his deal. Signed a $3.5 million with the Lakers.
Ooh.
Post-presence. He'll be 35 years old.
Marc Gasol. I love that. Hey, did you see that the Grizzlies, they came out and they said that they are open to trading for Mike Conley and Marc Gasol. They're willing to trade.
Yep. Have you seen the contract for those 2 guys?
Yeah, I can see why they're willing to trade them.
Mike Conley's owned $30 million through 2021. Gasol was an option for $24 million next year. They're going to opt out of signing with the Lakers for the vet minimum because if you said on the podcast, it's going to happen.
They should have been open to trading those guys the day they signed them.
Or probably just never sign Mike Conley to a deal he makes $30 million for 5 years.
That's unbelievable.
How could play in basketball at one point in time with Mike Conley? How crazy is that?
And I love that. And he's probably never been a top 25 player.
Oh, he's a top
he never
25
has.
player for sure.
Huh?
He's never been an all-star, I'm pretty sure.
He's a top 25 player in the NBA at some point. For sure.
No way.
I don't think he has.
Mike
I don't
Conley?
think he would be.
Oh, yeah.
No way.
He has some really good seasons.
He had some good seasons.
I mean, he's been good, but not great.
I don't know. Next week's podcast, or some crack in the future, we'll debate this further.
Yeah, we'll look into that. So, guys, it is time. Each week, our producer goes out and he watches movies. He watches 1, not 2, not 3, but maybe 4 and 5 movies each week. And he comes in and he talks about them. He reviews one, and what do you have for us today?
1 2 1 2 Pip's Entertainment Review. Sit on down for a movie to view.
Well, we talked about a whole lot already at the beginning of the show. Thanks for listening to the whole show, but it's the Fire Festival, I guess, documentaries. So you know what Five Festival was? This guy named Billy, last name was
McFarland.
Billy McFarland got a lot of money somehow. We get that in a moment, and him and Ja Rule hooked up, and so they're gonna make this extravagant super music festival thing.
Coachella on an island.
Coachella meets Bonnaroo meets Burning Man on an island, and
Exclusive, luxurious.
luxurious. You know, you're gonna be in villas. You're gonna eat fine dining. The best music groups are gonna come there, and then basically Five Festival never happened.
Yes, it did.
It did happen, but the no music played. Nobody was happy. There were villas, very few villas.
Yeah,
There was no food really.
They were Airbnbs.
Airbnbs. There were medical tents. Not at all what was described.
I loved
it's good.
it. No. They were FEMA tents.
They were the FEMA
Yes,
tents.
They were leftover FEMA tents.
FEMA tents.
And
So-
isn't it crazy though that talking about the FEMA tents, it rained and it ruined the tents. Aren't they
Yes.
like supposed to be good against rain?
Well, they were used for a hurricane, so you would expect so.
But
I think they were the same tents that they used at Hurricane Michael. I absolutely love this thing, dude.
I
And
thought
that
it was
guy-
really good.
That guy's a genius.
Easy.
How can you scam that many people over and over?
Drake Dippers. Spoilers from here on out. So just end the podcast. Thanks for listening. But all spoilers from here on out.
Yes, if you haven't listened to the show or watched that documentary, go ahead and turn it off.
Yep. So thanks for sticking around, Dippers. But Jake, back to what you were saying.
This guy is a genius. How can you scam so many people over and over and over, and then right at the end, scam more people right whenever you're out on parole?
Because millennials just want to be at things, and we get obsessed with the fact that when not there, we're missing out. Well, we're talking about fear of missing out.
FOMO.
FOMO. Fear of missing out. It's a real thing. You want to be there, so you're going to do insane things to get there.
Not even like take that step further. It's not even necessarily that you want. Like, obviously, yes, they want to be there, but they want other people knowing that you're there.
They don't give a
So-
shit if they were there as long as they have pictures of them being there.
Yes. So that's why, honestly, and I've seen people like kind of in this type of genre, but at the end of the documentary for the Netflix, they showed people, like an industry of people just literally renting a jet for 2 hours, not to take off, not to go anywhere, but to take pictures of them to make them look like they were on a private jet going somewhere.
I love that.
They were in a runway for 2 hours, spending probably $1,000 just to get a photo op at a jet. I mean, that's where we're living in now. And then on top of none of his business were legitimate. Not even his first one that he made all his money in. Like, it turned out he made no money because he was just using credit cards on credit cards and just jumping on that. And
A lot of money stuff going on here.
Yes, had a whole bunch of fake wealth.
My favorite
But, like-
part, maybe, was whenever they were running low on money, and he just put on the internet, "Hey, we got a new villa, $50,000," and somebody bought it, and he didn't even care that, like, he didn't even think about getting it.
I love how he never thought he was fucked.
Yeah.
He always thought, "Oh, I got this. I'm just gonna say, well, we got these new villas. How much money they were keep coming, and then wait, that money's gone. What am I gonna do now?" And continually is getting money, and money, not paying anybody anything. But I got this.
So, and then on top of that, like, nobody even really points out that the balls on this man, 6 to 8 weeks out, he had to completely find a new place to host the whole thing.
There was no island.
There was no island. And people pointed this out, and people still thought there was going to be all these villas and everything. You can't build villas in 6 to 8 weeks. You can't build big I mean, you could, I guess, theoretically.
Some people didn't get villas though. Like some people think actually got that what they were promised. Just after music of good food. They got a
I
house.
loved my favorite part. Maybe, dude, I had so many favorite parts.
Is this the quote we're waiting for an hour and a half for?
No, I'll tell you that in a minute. This was the second best quote of the whole thing. He stands up on the table and he looks at everybody and he said, one of the guys asked him, "Hey, I got a villa. Where do I go for those?" He looks at everybody and says, "If you had got a villa, just go ahead and grab a tent."
Yes. And then everybody just takes scrambling for a tent.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
so,
Lord.
So you guys watched the Netflix one, not the Hulu one. I watched the Hulu one that had Brilliant Fawn actually talking. So during the interview
You
process...
know he's making money off of all these, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
he,
well, no, he got paid $250,000 from Hulu. To
yeah,
do this
he,
interview.
well, he has to have money because he fucking broke his shit.
Wait, he got paid $250,000?
Oh, I'm sure at least that.
Yeah, and then I'm thinking he got indicted on a $10 million lawsuit, but he doesn't have any money. So
Yeah, but so throughout the entire Hulu documentary, he's telling stories and telling them what happened, all this stuff. And at the end of the documentary, they say, "Do we have pathological lie?" He says, "No." "Have you lied during the interview?" He said, "No." They went back. He lied the whole fucking interview. He said that he had 25 houses with keys for everybody. That was a lie. But do you know what he said happened to the keys?
what?
In the box of keys? Lost it.
He lost it?
He lost the box of keys with 25 houses that did not exist. He
What a
lost the
beast.
keys. Someone had you just kick the door down, right? That's true?
I think the craziest thing about it all is that he was able to convince so many smart, influential people that also was very successful at their individual businesses. Like all the social media people, all the people promoting it, like they are very successful people. Like he got the best for it, and he was able to the last second to convince them that everything was fine.
Was
Dude.
they're talking about fuck Jerry in yours?
Yeah.
A little
Well,
bit.
no, he actually a little bit, because that's the big thing of the Netflix one. He actually helped make the Netflix one.
Okay, yeah, he was in the Hulu one a lot too. But yeah, like they had them fooled the whole time, and they're thinking, "There's no way." And he said, "We got this. 1 week out, nothing's ready to go. It's happening."
I absolutely love this whole thing. But the best part of the whole
Is
entire
this the quote?
This is the quote.
Okay, buckle up.
You remember Andy King, Brandon?
Which one was Andy King?
The older guy with the gray hair.
Yes.
Remember whenever they were talking about the Evian water?
Now I know what you're talking about.
So they couldn't get this water through customs, okay?
Okay.
Because they had all this water for the whole entire island, and it's supposed to last for everybody. Like you know how every time they'd have a plan, like something would come up.
Yeah.
So they had like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of gallons of water that they were going to bring down to the island for the whole weekend. And Billy calls him, and he goes, which Andy tells us, you know, he's like, yeah, like I was one of the only homosexual guys that worked for this thing. He calls Andy and he says, "Andy, you willing to take one for the team?" He goes, "What do you mean by that?" He said, "The customs, they're giving us fits about this whole thing." He said, "They're trying to charge us $100,000 for a customs fee to where we can bring the Evian water down. So I'm trying to skip the $100,000 fee. I want you to go down there and give the guy a blowjob."
And
And Andy King is looking right at the. He goes, "I can't believe I'm telling you guys this." He goes, "But I went home, I brushed my teeth, I took a shower, I used mouthwash, and I was fully prepared to go down there and suck that dude's." It was awesome.
But like he didn't, because the customs guy ended up saying like, no, just pay me as soon as you get money.
Yeah,
but-
he said the guy couldn't be nicer.
But Andy King, and like to make it even matters worse, like he was a very respected person in like the event
super
planning
smart.
industry. Like he was like huge, and he was willing. He said for the first time in his career to go suck a penis to make this thing a success.
To get water down there to festival that was not happening anyway.
Yes.
Yes.
Could you imagine how mad you'd be if you went to customs, you went through with the whole plan Billy had, and then like you show up on festival day and the thing didn't even happen?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay. That'd be awful.
Yeah, that's why I think that the Netflix one was just a hair better than the Hulu.
I want the Netflix one sometime soon. I gotta get through One Tree Hill. The 9th season of that, half of season 2, so like 2 weeks to get to another one. But
Fire Festival on Netflix.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch the Hulu one because I want to listen to Billy talk. He sounds like a total lunatic, though.
oh,
Did you see that he has a girlfriend now?
She's hot.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, he's rich.
Oh,
Rich.
by the way,
Air quotes.
last night after I got done researching everything, or after I got done watching the Firefest, I ended up in a rabbit hole, and I was going through like where the guy was put at in prison and all this stuff. Turns out that he is at the same penitentiary that the situation is in, and you know Michael Cohen, the
Yeah.
attorney for Trump.
Yep.
he is also there. He will be there March 9th. So March 9th, they're going to have the situation, they're going to have Billy McFarland, and they're going to have Trump's lawyer. Can you imagine the shit they're going to get into?
That'd be great. It's a
Trio.
is it a minimum security prison? I imagine.
I think it's like a medium or something.
Yeah, they're not like going to a low security prison.
No.
That's not going to be a thing.
No. Interesting, though.
Yeah.
So how many dips would you give this thing?
I thought about this today quite a while because I don't know how to grade a documentary. So I decided I'm just going to do it this way. It gets 2 dips if it tells you what it's talking about in a proper way. Then it's going to get 5 more dips if it's entertaining. Oh, 0.5 dips if it's entertaining. It's going to give the last 0.5 dips if I would have thought about it. I'm going to give it 3 dips, I guess, because it was really entertaining. I liked it a lot, and it told me anything about Fire Fest, to my knowledge. So Hulu won't get 3 dips. Netflix might get fucking 2 dips. I don't know. I haven't watched it yet, but Hulu,
I'll tell you this.
3 dips.
I think that Netflix, in my opinion, is 3 dips. I don't know what they could have done to make it any better.
Make it longer.
That's it.
It was good. It
Unbelievable.
was ridiculous.
So guys, wait, how long was yours?
Like an hour and a half. Hour
That's
40,
how long the
40
Netflix
minutes.
was.
Do you think they were racing those things out?
Oh yeah.
The exact
Yeah, it was-
same time.
It was like the Cold War, dude. Like they were in a total arms race. So guys, any bold predictions for this week in sports?
Rams win Super Bowl by 20 plus points.
Oh wow.
Route.
I guess it's not bold, but AD goes to LA.
My prediction, and this is going to be very specific. I'm going to tell you exactly how the game is going to go this weekend because I've been so wrong on all the other games that I have to be right about a lot of this game. The Patriots come out to a commanding lead. They will be winning the game going into halftime. They will score first off of a Sony Michel rushing touchdown. Todd Gurley takes over in the second half, has 8 receptions by himself in the second half, ends up winning the game. They will beat the Patriots by 1 touchdown that Todd Gurley scores with about 5 minutes left. And Todd Gurley's your Super Bowl MVP.
Shit, I don't even watch it now. I know what happens.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
Hey, and there's actually a thing that you can bet where it says like the outcome of the game. So it's basically like tells you who's winning the first half, who wins the second half. And I think that's what I'm going to bet. Patriots then Rams. Ultimate comeback by Todd Gurley. Anything else for this show, guys?
Nope. Everything for listening. Hope you listen to the whole thing. Go watch the Fire Fest thing. Spoilers or not, you're going to be amazed at what happened.
Yeah, we could not do it any justice. And on that note, for Drake, for Leighton, for B-Ride, as always, Dippers, stay saucy.